Shalom, righteous family. Welcome back to TRU-TALK. And today I want to destroy a myth and kind of bring clarity to something that always been known but never really quite broken down to understand why. And that is, why are so-called black people, so-called Negroes, are so athletic? Why are we able to run fast, to jump high, and now we dominate in just about any sports that we get in. There's very few people playing golf, but one of the black men's, Tiger Wood, that played golf, he dominated to the fact they had to change the whole golf course because it was too easy for him. Once they said that black men couldn't play quarterback, we wasn't quote unquote intelligent enough. But now I think half of the quarterbacks are what we consider black men, and they dominate at that position. And nowadays, every coach want a black quarterback because they are what they call dual threat. Not only they can throw the ball damn well, too well if you ask me, but when the pocket break down, they can actually run and get away and make some yards. There wasn't too many black people playing tennis, but the two sisters that decided to play tennis, what are their name? Sharina and Venus. Well, they dominated in the position, and we can go on and on and on. And that's just on the athlete side. Let's not talk about our intelligence. When you look up the what they don't like to talk about is the quote unquote black inventions that was made, from the simple things to the most difficult things. I just found out recently that home security is a result of a AKA black Hebrew sister. That the reason we have the light bulbs that we have today because of a so-called black man and the heart maker, pacemaker, so-called black man, the computer. Ladies and gentlemen, there would be no such thing as a computer if it wasn't for a so-called black lady that invented. I forgot what part it was, but it's a very vital part of the computer. That without their invention, we wouldn't have this thing as we know as computer today. And I can go on and on and on. But we don't get taught this. We don't get talk about black excellence. We don't get talk about how amazing our people are. In school, every amazing person that they teach us about, being honest, was white. From Abraham Lincoln, the little story, the apple tree, where the apple tree that he cut down and he couldn't tell a lie. I think that was George Washington, one of them. But all these Hebrews was white. The only thing we learned about black people was, oh yeah, y'all was slaves. But the white man, the good white man, freed y'all. And then there was some white people. I had a white teacher. She put emphasis on that. Not many, but just some white people. I grew up. I was like, no, it was mostly white people. It was only some good white people. But you know, some white people was mean, and how they paint a picture. It was just that time, and they just didn't understand back then. So there was Martin Luther King, but what they don't tell you is they hated Martin Luther King. He was a painted as a villain until after he died, and years later, they started teaching him as a leader of black people, and he inspired me. I'm still inspired by the man because he put his life on the line for his people because he loved them, even though I may not agree with the way that he did it. Never taught us about Malcolm X. Never taught us about Black Panther. I thought Black Panther was a violent group that loved killing the cops. That's the picture they painted. But when you learn for yourself that these groups was a group that was joining white, black, Mexicans, everybody together, and they were just fighting against oppression. And man, these young men in their 20s, what they done was you can't do nothing but be amazed and tip your head off. So because they don't teach us our greatness and only teach that we were slaves, it create kind of a shame in you, and it create this white supremacist mindset, self-conscious. Like there's no way around it. Black or white, you cannot grow up in America and not have the white supremacist mindset in some way or form. Because me myself many times had to look in the mirror and check myself. But that's another story for another day. Let's start talking about the athletes and how we are amazing in that one area. Like I said, we amazing in many areas. But this talk that among black people, we joke and say, man, we'll take over sports. If we want to actually play our sports, like if we want to play hockey, more black people want to play hockey. We'll be great in that. And just kind of like a running joke, but it's true. Like they say, some jokes are funny because there's truth behind it. And white people understand this too. Like, man, these black people, they can jump. Like I always say, when you look at these superhero movies, it's monitored after the black man. To them, we are superheroes. Think about it. The man speed that can run real fast. If you look up the world fastest man, this is a so-called black man. You hear people tell it, they say, man, he's so fast. When you want to pass you, it look like a blur. You just swim. Then all of a sudden they come up with a superhero, but of course he couldn't be black. A white man named Speed, and all you see is a blur when he running. MJ, they call him LJ. They used to say he was flying in the air, that he wasn't jumping, that he was gliding. They'll say, man, he would jump from the 3-point line and dunk the ball, and it was like, he's not jumping, he's gliding to the air. Or like low key, he really flying. So all these superheroes that they come up with, and that's the thing we need to realize that, and this ain't pride, this is truth, that we are a special people. The Most High said we are a special people, and that's what I wanted to talk about because the question is why? Why are we so good at this? Why are we able to do these things? The Bible got all the answers. The Most High called us a peculiar, special people that will be above all other people. And yes, right now we are financially at the bottom. That this society has put us at the bottom when it comes to uh, equity and the economy and money and leadership. And even many times our life and who we are is hold at a lower value. But the proof is in the pudding. Even though we at the bottom, we influence the whole world. Not just black people in America, but black people period. Or should I say so-called black people, Hebrew Israelites. I mean, everything we do, we put sauce in it, we put swag in it. From music that we created, from country to rock, from blues to the best piano, to the man that the piano and drums came from the continent of Africa. This ain't a myth. This ain't nothing to just say, oh, look, give ourselves on a pat, give ourselves a pat on the back. Look what our ancestors did. No, it's to let us know what's in us and who we are. And I always used to joke, man, because before I say that, I'm gonna say this. There was a video I seen, and it was this young black girl. She was racing, and they started off racing, and she tripped over her shoe. One of her shoes became untied, and she tripped on the shoestring, felt hard, rolled over off the tracks on the grass, got up slow, put her shoe back on, tie her shoe tight, make sure her shoe was back on, and then started back racing. And of course, she was in last place, and everybody had passed her, about a mile. But this young Hebrew girl, by half of the track, not only she caught up with them, but she passed them and won by a mile. And you read the compliments, people like, man, she fast. People like, man, that's inspirational. That's how life is. When you may fall, you don't give up, you keep, and just all type of good stuff. But I looked at the video and she was raced against all white people. I think this was like looked like a high school, but everybody that she was racing against were Caucasian white women. She was the only sister out there. So I was like, that's not too much oppressive. Like, yeah, we can do that. That's easy. That's light work. Like, it's no secret that we are, well, most of us are faster than them. The average black man is faster than the average Chinese, Mexican, white man, Caucasian, Irish, India, whoever, however. And I always say, when you watch the Olympics, say, man, they got us wasting us. They got Hebrew Israelite racing Hebrew Israelites. They got so-called black people racing other so-called black people because it gotta be competition, right? I mean, they actually put white people to race us. Like it won't be fair. We already know we dust them out. So when you look at how these countries that like to boast as being white countries and majority right and all that, when they go to Olympics, when it comes to sports or race, they have Negroes representing them. That's how America always winning. I say by the only people that don't do that is India and China. Now India and China and a couple other countries and state they have their people racing and they always losing. And who they lose to? America, France, Italy, and who be competing for them? Our people. So it's just us competing against us because we competed them. It wouldn't be fair. But let me show y'all an example of that. Now this is the Man Olympics, and this a year ago in Paris.
The men's 4x1 final. No Jamaican team. We have got the connection.
So you see, all brothers.
Perfect on the 3 changeovers. The South Africans didn't finish last year at the Worlds. They were second in Heat 1.
Also called Negroes.
Let's listen to this. A night. Coleman, Benneret, King and Curley.
Look, you got Great Britain.
Lindsay is the athlete who makes way from the heats. Great Britain, Azu, Hinchcliffe, Mitchell, Blake and Hughes.
So you see, they just got us racing against us. France, Great Britain, USA, Canada, all Negroes. And then it's the same way with the females. And everything we do, we just do it so gangster.
Could just be great replays. Maybe we're getting paranoid. Oh, I hadn't noticed that at the time.
Yeah, she gave her a look.
Oh,
yes.
That is cheeky.
But look at this power come across the line. I just love it. One last little leap.
You know, it's just like, I forgot the dude's name from Jamaica. I'm surprised Jamaica wasn't here, but something Boat. That after he entered his race, he'll do that little pose, strike that pose. Like white dudes, when they finish racing, they out of breath and, you know, just like everything we do it with swag. You know, we just unique. We're a special group of people. But of course, they gotta explain. The white man gotta explain how these Negroes were so fast. How they able to be so good in sports. Now, this the myth part that I want to destroy. This company, I like this white comedian. He's funny, but I'm not the type that say, "Oh, you're invited to the cookout now." But nevertheless, he kind of hint on this. But I done heard this before, and a lot of people do believe this myth that how we got this way. Let's just hear him.
Down the same way, right? There's always like 3 white dudes, and the one white dude in the middle, he's always like the guy with like the theory. You know, he's always like, it seems these African American athletes, they seem to have this quick twitch muscle fiber. You know, there's a slow twitch and there's this quick twitch. And the second the dude says that, like the other 2 white dudes start like sliding out of frame, like, okay, this guy's getting fired, and I'm not going to be part of this highlight. Nice knowing you, Ned. Keep that seat warm, right? And the dude in the middle, he's just like hell-bent on getting fired. You know, he starts like bringing up slavery. And evidently they were breeding the strongest man with the strongest woman and that quick twitch. And I gotta admit, as a white dude, on some level, I have to believe in that theory, because it's like, a white dude's that bad at basketball? I can't even watch the NBA anymore, man. It's like every highlight, the white dude's like that, the black dude has like his nuts in his face. Fucking blah! I'm just sitting at home like, for the love of God, tackle the guy. Jesus Christ, get out of the way. Do you ever get tired of those 2 nuts flying over your head? Something to that theory. I saw this show one time on runaway slaves. It was one of the most amazing programs I've ever seen in my life. Dude, when you ran away as a slave, you just didn't run to the end of the driveway and be like, fuck that job. Just start walking down the street. Dude, you had to like run through whole states. There's dogs chasing you, you're hurdling shit, you're swimming. Those were the first fucking triathletes. And there was nobody helping them out. There was no dude on the side of the road like, come on, man, 2 more states in Ohio. Suck it up, you're looking good, looking good. To D you up in gym class, it ain't happening. I come from hundreds of years of alcoholics. I got like half a liver, you know what I mean? It's just... dash, right? There's always like 9 black dudes and that one token white guy in like lane 8. I'm just sitting there going, come on, man, one time. Just one time, just win the bronze, just do what you gotta do. And the white, no, I get into those arguments all the time. All the time. Friends of mine will be like, well, how come anytime a black athlete does something, they say it's an athletic move. Anytime a white athlete does it, they say it's an intelligent move. And it's like, well, fair enough, man. It just depends on what you're doing. You know what I mean? It's like, if you read a defense, white or black, that's an intelligent move, right? But if you take off from the foul line, jump over 9 other dudes, and throw the shit down, those other 9 guys aren't standing there like, fuck, why didn't I think of that shit? You're a hero shit. She had like a cake flapping in the wind with a big S on your chest.
Now the Caucasian brother, he's funny. He is funny, but this myth that he called. The truth is, some people describe it that, and it's a theory that a lot of people, even I've seen some black people, say, when we was slaves, they uh, had they breed us like animals and had the big Negro slaves sleep with the big woman slave, and that's why we so athlete and strong can do all these things. It's like what? First of all, what do you mean? What do that even mean? Breed the big Negro slave with the big Negro woman slave. Like, how did they get big in the first place? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's common. Like, call me just silly like that, but I believe tall men should be with tall women, and shorter men should be with shorter women. Like, I dislike a female that's 5'2", and she talk about she wants somebody that's 6'4". Shout it, you're 5'2". You'll be good with a husband that's 5'6", 5'7". He's taller than you. You know what I'm saying? He tower over you. Just like I believe that the black woman is the counterpart of a black man, and the white woman is the counterpart of the white man. The Chinese woman is the counterpart of a Chinese man. The Mexican woman is the counterpart of of a Mexican man. Like, I'm just simple and I'm just crazy like that. You know. But nevertheless, you heard at the end, he was like, man, that's some superhero stuff. And him as a white man, they got to come up with a reason to say, well, we got to make sense of this. And what is the theory? Oh, it's because of us. Yeah, y'all athlete, y'all can jump and run fast because us, the white man did it. The black man today is so athletic. Give thanks to the white man because we bred y'all that way. And the myth just fall apart because once again, it's been century after slavery, and black people chose to get with whoever they wanted. MJ, Michael Jordan, mother and father chose to got with each other. No one breeded or forced them. Kobe, his mama, his daddy chose to get with his black Negro mama. LeBron, mama, decided to get with his daddy. She got it with every with whatever black man she wanted to got with in this century after slaves. So it's still the result of or maybe it's just in us. It's just in our genes. We just special like that. So it's just foolish. But also because not just black people in America that have been through the slave trade is faster and more athletic than the Caucasian man, but all over this all over this planet, even especially in Africa, the black people are there way more athletic than a Caucasian man. Now this video funny because they bought. I would hope they brought the best of the Caucasian people to race against these African because it's a racing. It's a Olympic, one of the first Olympics that they kind of had in Africa that the Caucasian kind of bought over there, and they just got normal local African dudes to race against the great white hope. We can't beat them in America. Let's come on here and just find strange dudes in Africa and let's see if we can beat them. They hadn't been trained and done that. And it's funny because let's just see how this play out.
The start of the mile event in Kenya's 3A's championship. In the field were Britain's Alan Simpson and naturally Kip Keino, Kenya's wonder athlete. But this was not an occasion when form counted for men like Simpson. The advantage and the wins went to local boys used to the rarefied atmosphere of Nairobi's altitude. Oxygen was badly needed by the Britons at the end of every event. This is a clear indication of trouble ahead at next year's Olympics, to be held at an even greater altitude in Mexico. While Simpson was puffed, Keino seemed quite fresh. And it was the same story in the 6-mile race. The Europeans didn't stand a chance. Hungary's Lajos Mekshet, normally no mean 6-miler, could only trail field, while Kenya's Timu set up a new national record, lapping the Hungarian in the process. Again, it was a case of oxygen being badly needed. In the 440 hurdles, there was a grand try by Britain's Peter Wharton to overcome the problem of starvation. He put everything he'd got into the effort to come third behind Arab Sang and Ben Koger. He was almost out on his feet, very much in need of life-giving oxygen. Arab Sang was still fresh. Quite a problem facing the major athletic countries next year in Mexico. The start of the mile event in Kenya's 3A's.
Now, I'm sorry if y'all couldn't see the video, but this was funny to me. I think they said this was in Nairobi or somewhere in Africa. And they blamed it on the atmosphere. They were like, the local boys run because they were used to the atmosphere. They were used to the air. You know, we high up, and as you can see, all the Caucasian, they lost. But even with losing, when they finished the race, they gassing for air, about to faint, need oxygen. And then they pin to the African dude, and the African dude just sitting there with their hands on their hips, like waving at the camera, like not phased at all. Like, so let me ask you this: was these African was they bred the strongest slave, the strongest woman slave? So that's why they so fast, you know. Like, this myth is just foolish, and it reminds me on the scripture where the Most High said, "I will not share my glory. No, I will not give my glory to another. Either I will not share or I will not give my glory to another." And it's a slap in the Most High face. It's really taking His glory of the people that He created, the greatness that He put it in us, and trying to take credit for it and say, "Oh, y'all this way because of us. Y'all athletic. Y'all can run fast and jump this high. Y'all amazing like that because of what we did, because we bred y'all this way." It's very arrogant, evil, ungodly thing to say, but what would you expect from a people that, you know, grew up with a white supremacist mindset? Well, it's like, no, it's got to be some way that we can take credit for this. That they, if they good in anything better than us, it's only because of us. And sadly, some black men believe this foolish theory also because, like I said, the white supremacy is embedded in our DNA, and we can't help it. We can't see ourselves as great. We gotta get a white man credit in something. We gotta say that it's not that we just wonderful and great and the Most High made us like this. You know what I'm saying? But that's absolutely true. We are a great, amazing people. That's why I just don't get it when dudes be wanna water down they seed and get with the heathens. It's almost like throwing away diamonds and gold and grabbing rocks and cleaning rocks. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you not realize how amazing the black Hebrew woman is? At the most I will, I'm gonna do a video about how black people in general, but the black woman womb is so amazing. Like they bidding, not they already bidding on our melanin, but you have white rich men not going to the Mexicans, not going to Native Americans, not going to any other group, but going to the black woman wanting to buy. I can't think of the name of the thing. Well, based on how they give birth or whatever, something. And I'm not familiar with it, but I'm gonna show y'all that video. And the white man, he went out in the middle. It was like three or four rich old white men, and they was like, yeah, our black women are very special. There's something come with y'all DNA when y'all give birth that don't come with no other woman. So this result is the black man putting his seed in a black woman. MJ, the product of a pure black mother and a pure black man. Kobe Bryant, same thing. LeBron, same thing. Fortunately, Kobe watered down his seed, and all his wealth went to this Latino Mexican woman that won't even help his mama and daddy out. And then they wonder why their children are not athletic. They say, you can cut it once, but don't cut it no more. How about not cut it at all? Just keep it pure. But nevertheless, man, I just wanted to kind of encourage our people, kind of brag on the Most High about how His word is true. And when you say we are a fearful and wonderful people, that's just what it is. And a lot of times we don't know how powerful and how strong we are, how intelligent we are. You know what I'm saying? And, only if we can tap in that power. First, we got to be spiritually. Well, we start eating right, start feeding our spirit, and really operating in the space that we are supposed to operate in with the Most High instead of working 9 to 5, making these other people rich, trying to prove to other people, you know, that we are the good Negroes and all this other stuff, buying their junk food, looking at their TV, getting emotional involved in sports and all this. I'm not saying don't pay attention because we are told to pray and watch, and we live in this world, and behind everything there's a spiritual meaning. But don't get so caught up with where your attention is off the Most High, and you done became transformed uh, to this world. How that strips the door, don't become transformed uh, to this world, but transform yourself to the renewing of your mind, to the word, something like that. Forgive me, but y'all know what strips I'm talking about. And that strips holds so much weight because it's telling us don't allow for ourselves to become uh, comfortable to this world and compromise ourselves and become robots and just give into this world and this society with how we eat, how we operate. Getting back to planting, making our own food. We got time, we can do it. Start fasting, start eating less meat, eat more fruits and vegetables. Start building stuff, start putting more energy in our house and in our people. Spend time for us, a lot of times it's just we chasing the money, trying to make a dollar, and I get it. Trust me, I get it. But we gotta renew our minds, know that that job don't provide for us. The Most High provide for us. And there's many ways that he can provide for us. He gave us all that we need. We don't become so normalized to live a certain way that we can't see ourselves living no other way. But that's another video for another day. So what y'all think? Is the white man is the black man athletic because of our amazing white people? They created the athletic white man. We are athletic. Why there's a LeBron, a Michael Jordan, or Kobe, or a Don Sandra, or any great player, any great athlete, period, is because a good old white man, century ago, bred us to be athletes? Or are we just simply the most our people and are amazing and don't need to walk around in pride but confidence because we've been taught self-hate, and what we need to do is love ourselves without hating our enemy. But as always, let Yah be true and every man a lie. Till next time, Shalom.